welcome to another episode of Murder Murder.
This is your host. This is Jamie.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Murder Smarter. This is Joseph.
Hi, and for this episode today, you can know me as Grant.
And I'm Austin.
We're no longer doing any true crime comedy. We're absolutely just covering the schematics for my new 40K Warhammer.
I'm building a new Eldari army, and I've got a lot of the meta figured out. So I'm going to be building some war walkers and some. I don't know Eldari.
I'm not nerdy enough for this conversation. I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I do have a new Trigon proxy that I'm going to be building and painting up soon, and I'm super excited for it. Hey, I'm Joseph. I already said that.
Yes, you did.
Cool.
Well,
we're not talking about that
If
today.
you haven't noticed, this is the murder part.
I guess so.
I don't know.
God damn it. We did Schmurder 2 recently.
Yeah.
No more jokes. It's not funny anymore. We're not doing jokes. We've already established this. Murder is serious, and we're doing serious murder
We're doing
stuff.
serious things.
Stop being on your phone. It's rude. Austin has something prepared for us.
I do. I worked really hard on it.
I want to see what a Trigun proxy looks like. Ooh.
And I put my phone away.
This looks sick. This? That's what you're building?
No, that's something different. Here, I'll show you. You misspelled Trigon, you
I'm sure
plebeian.
this is so fun for everyone else.
Yeah.
Austin, do you want to talk about cool things?
The viewers are like,
this is
"Man,
even
that
better."
looks
I
so
know.
cool."
It's cool.
Man, I'd really like to share this with somebody else, but I can't.
There's-
Austin, do you remember
bad.
that time that you were like a cool person in real life talking to other human beings?
You mean like on Tuesday?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was
Tuesday.
pretty cool.
You guys wi-
continue. You'll do whatever you need
you guys
to do.
wish you,
Austin and I
you
can-
could play like I do.
I really don't.
Dude, you're going to get so much
jerks.
puss with that Trigon thing.
Yeah, I will. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Joseph, I just want to blow you so hard.
I really like the highlights you did on his carapace. That's
So
what
did
it's
you
going to
see
go
it?
like.
Kara pissing me off.
Oh my God, that maroon really
Hey,
empowers.
Speaking of maroon, if you remember the last time that we had a laptop in front of my face, we were talking about pirates.
Being marooned.
Holy
Being
shit.
marooned.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was a great segue.
Very
That was
Yes.
a great segue. What's that thing your laptop's sitting on?
It's called a desk.
This is a desk.
Wow.
Wow.
Whose
Where'd that
idea was
desk
it
come
to put-
from?
Joseph.
I did a
Came a
good
little
job.
easy to Austin. He like grabs it like, Joseph.
No, Joseph and Jamie put together this wonderful desk.
But it was Jaime's great idea to
it
get
was
one.
absolutely Jamie's idea, I guess.
Hell yeah. I'll take that, I guess.
I'll take a guess.
Only very technically was it his idea. And by that I mean he had the idea and he ordered it and then brought it here.
and it's got a beer holder, a
It's got a beer
nondescript
holder.
beer holder.
Right.
It's true. It's a
Yeah.
drink holder, and I guess you could use other drinks if you
All
were a
beers
loser.
or non-alcoholic beers.
And it
That's
came
true.
with the box.
There is a box that we
A
can play
nice
in
big
later.
box.
There's a box right over there. We can't play with it.
Can't play with it later.
Make some armor.
Forts. Oh.
Did pirates build forts?
They did.
Did they really?
I think. There are water fortresses.
Actually, were pirates purely nomadic, or like did they ever build a home base? Did any pirate do
I
that?
guess Nassau was technically their home base
Yeah.
at one point
Yeah.
or another.
What else? What else is a ship
Nassau
but a
in the
floating
Bahamas.
fortress?
That was kind of like their hub where they would trade all the stuff that they would steal.
It's
Yeah.
in the Bahamas.
And they tried to make it legit, but then the
Yeah.
crown was like, no.
Right.
Yeah, what the hell you guys doing?
No.
We have all the money and power.
Right.
What are you doing over here?
Yeah, you can't have the money and power. That's ours.
Right.
Right.
Dude, what a
Yeah.
sick move to be like, basically set up home base in a vacation spot. That's a sick ass.
Did you ever
move.
watch? Obviously it's super dramatized, but the show Black Sails.
No, I have not.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm right now down the Dexter train, and I fucking loved
Are
it.
you still on the Dexter train?
Yeah,
And,
I just started season
so-
2. I don't know if I told you, but I loved season 1 so much. Just like I
Dude,
finished it.
Wait
and
till
then
season 4, baby.
I put it on again. I started.
Wait till
Wow.
season 4, baby.
Is that the John Lithgow one?
I thought
Yeah.
you said that's
Yeah.
when it stops being good.
No, that is the height of it.
After.
Yeah.
After
That's its
the John
peak.
Lithgow is when
It
you're going to
gets-
be sad.
It's so amazing, and then
Yeah.
Pretty steep drop off.
yeah.
Did you watch the prequel show?
No, I
Not
never
yet.
did.
It looks like the equivalent of Young Sheldon.
I've heard
Ugh.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Also, Young Sheldon's great.
What is wrong with you? Jesus
I love you,
Christ.
Grant, because Grant's the only person I know who's like musically a purist.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not good music.
No, it's
this
not.
is good music.
Yeah, 100%.
But then he's like, Young Sheldon's not too bad.
But then he'll just be like, yeah, I just fall asleep to How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
That's true. I love me a shitty sitcom.
Yeah,
I really do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns my brain off.
Yeah. That's fair.
Nothing else does, honestly.
It's like alcohol and bad TVs.
Austin, do you want to do your thing?
I don't know anymore. I kind of want to start over. Patreon.
Okay, 1, 2, and a 3. Welcome to another Thursday episode. This is Jamie.
This is Austin.
This is Joseph.
Oh, I'm Grant.
We're here today to talk about pirates.
That's right.
Talking about pirates.
Pirates.
Part 2, who we talking about again?
Ned Low.
Okay, let's talk about Ned Low. Right after I start talking about Dexter and how amazing that show is. I'm telling you, it's, Dexter definitely feels like a continuation of
I'm going to
Sopranos.
cut you off. You've done enough talking, landlubber. Austin set sails for the pirate adventure.
Yarg, I'm ready to hear about anal and booty.
You ready?
All right, I'd like to swab his poop deck.
And welcome back, ye scandal-soaked sea rats, to Murder, where the rum is warm, the morals are questionable, and the body count be climbing like a monkey up the rigging. When we last dropped anchor, Ned Low had seized himself a fine new vessel, a belly full of ambition, and a name that already made merchant captains wake in a cold sweat. But now the boys cast off the last scraps of hesitation and let the storm inside him take the helm. The black flag flies high, the cannons be primed, and mercy's been tossed overboard with the bilge water. So lash yourselves to the mast and clutch your doubloons tight. Part 2 be the chapter where the sea runs red and Low proves there be no depths he won't plunder.
Well, he set a fucking bar that we have to now get to.
Damn, that was
Son of a bitch.
that was too good.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
really
so
good.
the next episode, I got to create a character and then perform it that
Do
fucking
that,
well.
yeah. Do an
Lucky for
awesome
you,
monologue.
There's a part 3, so there will probably be another Austin pirate coming.
There's a part 3?
Oh yeah, baby.
That's too much pirate.
Of Low?
No, it's not enough pirates.
Cut it back to...
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Of Jed Low here?
Hey,
Ned Low, yeah.
Jaime, lock the fuck in.
Yeah, man.
Question.
We're doing pirates.
Is Ned Low evil in your book?
You know what? I'm gonna let you decide that. You might have
Look at him go.
you might have a very
Excellent Uno reverse card. Yeah. How about you listen to my fucking script and tell me?
So anyway, let me set the scene for you. It's January 25th, 1723, somewhere deep in the Atlantic. A Portuguese trading vessel bound for Brazil cuts steadily through calm water. The morning had been uneventful, clear skies, cooperative winds, and not another sail in sight along the shipping lane. Then someone spots it, a cluster of ships on the horizon. A spyglass confirms the worst. The largest vessel flies a black flag emblazoned with a red skeleton.
We're so fucked. We are so fucking fucked.
Maybe it's a medicine ship.
The
I
Nova,
don't think it is.
The Nova Senhora de Vitoria had enjoyed an uninterrupted voyage until now, but within minutes, the deck erupts into alarm. The captain rushes up from below, demands the telescope, and curses when he sees how quickly approaching and curses when he sees how quickly the approaching ships are gaining.
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Which I can only assume sounded like, shit! The wind is against them. Escape looks unlikely. And after a heavy pause, he gives the only order left to give. Prepare to battle. As he retreats briefly into his cabin, the captain confronts a truth that he doesn't dare voice aloud. They have little real chance against a pirate.
Captain, this is a cruise ship.
Against a pirate flotilla of that size. And defeat, if it comes, may not mean simple theft. In the last 2 years, the stories circulating through Atlantic ports have grown darker. Tales of crews tortured for sport, ships set ablaze with men still aboard. Sailors are notorious exaggerators, yes, but even rumors have roots. If these attackers are who he suspects they are, resistance could provoke something far worse than surrender. Strike early, lower the flag quickly, and perhaps lives will be spared. Yet he also carries another burden. The cargo below deck belongs to powerful merchants who will demand answers if he survives, protect the ship and risk massacre, or yield and face ruin back home. It's an impossible calculation, one measured in lives on one side and consequences on the other. Inside a locked strongbox rests final contingency, a heavy sack of gold coins. The captain removes it, works quickly, and ties a length of rope securely around the bag. Crossing to the cabin window, he lowers it carefully over the side and fastens the line to a hidden point along the ship's exterior.
Ooh, smart.
If the worst happens, perhaps the pirates won't notice it in the chaos. And if by some miracle the vessel survives, at least part of the cargo might be recovered. A shaken cabin boy bursts in before he can finish securing it. The pirates are already boarding.
Listen to me, lads.
And they're almost at the
only
door.
thing we can do now is to lube our assholes for the pirates. for sure, they're going to fuck
The boy
us.
spots the rope trailing out the window and immediately understands what's going on. The boy insists that even a moron could figure that out. Outside the cabin, the unmistakable sounds of close combat. Boots clamoring, steel striking steel, all the while being scored by Hans Zimmer.
Crash, clang, stab.
The captain knows the boy is right. The rope will be spotted. The gold will be found. In a flash of anger, part defiance, part desperation, he makes his choice. If the pirates take the ship, they won't take everything. Drawing his cutlass, he slashes through the line and sends a tribute to Davy Jones. With that, he steps out of the cabin. The cabin boy close behind and throws himself into the fight already raging on deck. But within moments, it becomes clear. The men boarding his vessel are not the kind who settle for cargo and sail away. Whatever stories he had heard in port taverns about the new breed of pirates prowling these waters, whatever stories he had heard in port taverns about the new breed of pirates prowling these waters, in other words,
You best start believing in ghost stories, 'cause you're in one.
the pirate captain boards moments later, and it's none other than Ned Low. By now, his name has traveled across the Atlantic, carried in whispers from port to port, usually accompanied by stories of calculated brutality, which is a band name.
Yeah, 100%.
Calculated brutality?
Yeah, it's a really good band name.
When Low learns of what the captain of the Nassau Senora de Vittoria has done, sending a sack of gold into the ocean floor rather than surrendering it, he doesn't shrug it off as a clever loss. He takes it personally, and what follows is not measured punishment meant to make a point. It's something far darker, an escalation that would shock even hardened sailors accustomed to the worst excesses of piracy. Foreshadowing.
You best start believing in butt stuff.
Because we're doing it. I hope you're not connected to your nipples, because they're mine now.
Jesus. Now, for 2 relentless years, Captain Ned Low has carved a violent path across the Atlantic. In that short span, he's gone from mutineer to one of the most hunted men along the North American coastline, pursued by colonial authorities, pursued in colonial authorities, denounced in newspapers, and whispered about in every major port. His reputation is not built on clever raids alone, but on calculated brutality. Murder, torture, destruction. Low has left his mark from the West Indies to the waters of Cape Verde, where he recently spread chaos among merchant shipping before turning back towards the Americas. And if anyone believed the violence had peaked, they were mistaken. For Ned Low, this is not the climax, it's the momentum. Back to the Victoria. The pirates had done their work well. Smoke drifted thick over the deck, and the cries of the wounded were swallowed by the sea. Most of the Portuguese crew had already cast down their weapons. Those who refused were cut down where they stood. At last, their captain, seeing no hope left in the slaughter, called for surrender before another soul was sent to the depths. From the rail of his flagship, the Fancy, Captain Ned Low leaped lightly onto the captured deck as if boarding a pleasure craft rather than a prize taken in blood. He locked eyes with the Portuguese captain at once and strode toward him through the wreckage, boots slick with seawater and worse.
Show me your booty, Low growled.
The captain feigned ignorance. "E now falo inglês." It's Portuguese for I can't speak English. Anyway, Low answered by drawing his sword and pressing its cold edge against the man's lips.
Perhaps this'll translate, he sneered.
Reluctantly, the captain led him below to his cabin, offering whatever cargo remained. But the heavy bag of gold, the true prize, was already sinking into the Atlantic. For an hour, the pirates tore the ship apart, splintering chests, smashing crates, ripping through silks and sugar and spice. There was a wealth aboard, yes, but not the treasure Low had scented. Then came the empty strongbox. Low stared at it, jaw tightening. Something of value had been kept there, something worth hiding. He demanded answers. The captain denied that anything had ever filled it. Low didn't believe him. But instead of turning fury upon the captain, he seized the youngest aboard, the trembling cabin boy from before. The lad was dragged forward and forced to his knees before the commander. One of Low's men wrenched out the boy's arm and held it fast.
I'll take each finger, Low said coldly, one by one until the truth finds its tongue. And when the fingers are gone, I'll carve the rest away.
At the sound of this sentence, the boy broke. Sobs gave way to frantic speech in Portuguese. Fortune, or fate, placed a bilingual pirate among Low's crew, and translation came swift. The captain had kept a heavy bag of gold coins hidden, and fearing captured, had ordered it thrown overboard. The treasure was gone. Low's rage erupted like a cannon blast. The cabin boy was thrown aside, spared from the immediate storm of his fury, and all focus shifted to the Portuguese captain. The men were ordered to hold him fast. He struggled, but in the grip of the seasoned pirates, there was no escape. Low sheathed the cutlass that he had meant for the boy and instead drew a dagger, stepping forward with deliberate menace. Grabbing the captain by the chin, he executed a horror that would haunt every sailor who witnessed it. He carved the man's lips from his face, uncaring of the screams that tore through the deck. The horror escalated. A fire was lit on deck, and the severed flesh was held above the flames until smoke and stench thickened the air. Once the temperature reached a cruelly calculated heat, about 135 degrees, medium rare, Low forced the captain to ingest what remained of his own lips, ensuring the man's terror and humiliation was absolute.
Damn.
So evil.
I've got 4 things I need to say.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Let him go first.
Okay, I'm going to go
Okay,
first.
go ahead.
Number 1, I love so much that a guy named Ned brought so much terror now aboard the Fancy.
The Fancy.
Just brings me so much joy. It really does. Where they're like, oh my God, it's Ned on the Fancy. Everybody run for your lives.
It does give off the vibe he's wearing a polo.
Yeah, it's Ned's declassified pirate survival guide.
Love that dearly.
That's the classified references. Fantastic.
Second
I'll
one
be ripping off your
it's
lips
honestly
now.
it's more of a question mostly to you, but also to the group in the sense of like, okay, of course we're going to take the gold out of the strong box because that's what they're looking for,
Right.
And they're going to try and lash it to the side of the ship in order to preserve it,
Sure.
You know, to be able to get out of there with it unscathed. In that moment, do you think that they allowed it to drop intentionally in that almost like a principled thing of is it better to lose it forever as opposed to having these thieving pirates get it?
I think,
you know?
I think in the moment, like when the cabin boy was like, they're gonna find it, and like that was the only idea he had. He was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
you know?
just
Yeah.
pure
It
panic.
felt like
Yeah.
like a spiteful like they may kill me,
Right.
they may cut my lips off and feed them to me, but I'm gonna get them there.
He probably at that moment thought, surely, like something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
right. But I mean, hopefully they don't.
But they're not gonna get. Yeah,
Right.
he may have been like they may kill me. He probably didn't think they were gonna do that.
Right.
But he was like, I can control this, and I
Right.
can take this away from them.
Right. And then also, I think, you going back to the whole, like, it's either death by pirates or if I go home empty-handed, like, I'm going to be ruined.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Right.
Maybe if I tell them, like, hey, like, they were going to grab the gold anyway, to make sure that they didn't get it, I threw it into the ocean.
Right, which
Maybe
is-
that was some sort of, like, in that moment,
Potentially
saving
valid.
grace.
Yeah, potentially
Kinda.
valid there.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, just to clarify, this is a pleasure ship, i.e. like just Joseph earlier referenced almost in a joke, like almost like a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Like they're just
So this is
enjoying the
this
waters.
This is a merchant ship.
Okay.
It's a merchant
Okay.
ship, but he jumped on it like just casually, like it was just another
I'll
day.
just go check it out.
Yeah,
Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
that was what I was getting at there.
Okay.
Jamie,
Let's just paint this picture real quick.
He painted a pretty good picture.
Very good.
All you men, they're drinking at the bars.
Yeah.
They hear all this horrific shit. You're hearing the horrific shit that's happening. And your best idea is to piss the pirates off to no end when you know you're going to lose the battle?
well, he thought that he maybe would get away with it. Like if there's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
This guy had it coming. This guy was cruising for
I
a
don't know if
bruise.
he had it coming.
This guy had it coming.
So he
for a
deserved
bruise,
to
though.
have
I
his
like that.
lips cut off and burned and then fed back to him.
If he was a smart captain, I would have just said, listen, guys, there's no way around this for it to not suck. The best way to do this is get everything that's valuable, put it at the front. We all just say, please don't
Give
kill
it
us.
to him. Cabin boy, you're gonna have to blow someone.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm sorry, but you're the lowest ranking dude. So
You got
you're
the
gonna.
softest lips of the crew.
When
The
our
rest of us are
society-
too salty. You're gonna have to do it.
So when our society collapses, you're not part of my team. Got it.
Oh, okay, fine. You're the captain, and when your lips are getting cut off, I'm gonna be in the back like, should have done what you did.
Told you.
Should have blown him. I do like the idea of the the captain going back and the fucking like East India Trade Company or whoever merchant class is just like, hey, what the fuck happened to my stuff? And he's like,
You fucking tell me what's going on.
you got problems. I got problems.
By the way, just take the fucking ship.
Anyway, the cruelest of Low's men laughed and jeered as the captain's torment unfolded, while others turned their heads in disgust, unable to watch. Even aboard the Fancy, the screams carried across deck, twisting through the air like a living thing. One man listened closer than most, Philip Ashton, if you remember from part one. Until the previous year, Ashton had been nothing more than a hard-working fisherman from Marblehead off the New England coast. Now he was a prisoner, forced to live in constant dread of what horrors might be inflicted next. As cries of the Portuguese captain echoed through the night, Ashton struggled to comprehend the inhumanity that had just occurred. Yet he knew the source of this terror, Ned Low. Over the months in captivity, Ashton had seen Low commit atrocities most men could not imagine. And yet, by some twisted calculus, Ashton remained alive. Low had other plans for him, plans to bend him into a pirate. And for now, that purpose had spared him from the full measure of the captain's cruelty. When Low first seized Ashton and the other fishermen from Port Roseway, his first move was to try to bind them with ink and paper, articles of agreement, if you remember, that would put them in his crew forever. And Ashton refused, steadfast. But Low had no patience for refusal. He faked Ashton's signature and threw him into the hold, leaving him and the others to rot below deck. Freedom on the ship came only on rare occasions, and even then under watchful eyes. Since that day, Low has relentlessly sought to bend Ashton and the other captives to his will. He offered riches, poured rum to loosen tongues, and promised protection from all dangers, so long as they became his allies. Some fishermen already succumbed, convinced by repeated demonstrations that obedience brought rewards beyond imagining. Philip Ashton, however, remained uncorrupted. He would endure starvation, fear, and cruelty before ever surrendering his soul to the devil, who just may actually be at the helm of this chilling cruise. Yet with Ned Low, Ashton knows one truth above all. Resisting forever may not be an option. The horrors aboard the Fancy went far beyond the gruesome mutilation and force-feeding of the Portuguese captain's lips. Sailors and captives were beaten, chained to the masts, whipped until raw, flayed, their skin torn, fingers, toes, and even parts of their faces burned. The ship itself became a theater of terror, and word of these acts spread faster than a gale across the Caribbean and Atlantic ports. Once the story of the Portuguese captain reached shore, it fueled an already growing legend. Tales of Low's cruelty, some surely exaggerated by ancient merchants and newspaper writers, painted him as a pirate who inflicted punishment with unmatched severity. There are even reports that after taking a surrendered ship, he would sometimes strip the crew of all food and left them to starve. In practice, the victims often survived, but the message was clear. Ned Low's name was one to strike fear into every sailor, merchant, and colonial official who heard it. With the grisly spectacle concluded, the pirates returned to the Fancy, hauling plunder and recounting the horrors they had just witnessed. Ashton listened in stunned silence as the tales of the Portuguese captain's severed lips and final agonies were repeated. He was told the captain had been killed soon after, but the carnage had not ended. Even now, the screams and gunfire from the Nova Senora de Vitoria pierced the air. Low had ordered the execution of all 32 remaining crewmen. Ashton and other prisoners were allowed on deck, summoned by the captain himself to witness the next act. The pirates set the Victoria ablaze. Am I boring you?
Just getting cozy.
Anyway, the pirates set the Victoria ablaze, and plumes of black smoke mixed with the acrid stench of burning flesh. The ship groaned, cracked, and slowly sank beneath the waves, leaving behind only fire, smoke, and the echo of terror. Ashton scanned the deck, searching for Ned Low. Surely the captain had returned to the Fancy by now. Thick black smoke from the burning Victoria hung in the air, obscuring most of the crew. But then Ashton spotted him near the bow, calm, composed, discussing business with the quartermaster and several men. Low wore a red coat Ashton didn't recognize at first. Squinting through the smoke and chaos, he had realized the truth. It wasn't a new coat at all. It was the captain's old coat, soaked and re-dyed with someone else's blood. Low's eyes met Ashton, dark and unreadable, the gaze that carried a chilling question without words. Could Ashton be next? In the wake of the whole feeding lips spectacle, a ripple of unease passed even through the ranks.
That whole thing.
That really rough Tuesday.
A ripple of unease passed even through the ranks of Low's own crew. The most hardened among them laughed at it. The most hardened among them laughed it off, but others, those not yet wholly given over to madness, began to whisper. Something about this had crossed the line even pirates understood.
Hey, that shit was crazy, right?
That was a little much. Are we the baddies?
I don't know. It was pretty cool to me.
Word traveled fast across the Atlantic. In the American colonies and in Britain, newspapers began running accounts of Low's latest cruelty. At first, the editors spared the readers the worst of it, hinting darkly at unspeakable barbarities, another great band name. But before long, the press rolled with every grisly detail. Whether from outrage or appetite for sensation, the papers printed the horror in full.
Sells papers, baby.
The phrase forced cannibalism, another great band name. The phrase forced cannibalism began to circulate, and with it, a sharper public fury. Piracy alone was not new. The seas had long been plagued by men of violence, but this was different. Now, Low was no mere outlaw. He was becoming a symbol, a boogeyman, upon whom authorities could focus their wrath. Colonial governors and British officials alike began to take special notice of Ned Low, and his name rose to the top of their lists. This single episode would help elevate him to priority number one, and while ships were ready in order to dispatch to hunt him down, life aboard the Fancy remained unchanged, ruled by fear, cruelty, and the ever-present understanding that at any moment the captain might decide to make another example of someone. Yes.
We start a band called Forced Cannibalism. It's gonna be the five of us, right?
There's four of us.
Julie's included.
Julie's included. Okay.
Julie's in the band for sure.
What's it called? We're hardcore, like the most hardcore metal band ever. Our first album is called Island de Epstein, and it's all about Epstein Island and all the horrific tragedies that happened there. It's gonna be a badass album.
Oddly enough, I don't hate it.
So a rock opera about
Rock?
the pedophilia?
Rockbra.
A rock, bro.
Rockbra.
Yeah.
Sort of a death metal opera, but yeah.
Yeah, like Death Clock.
Yes, but more metal.
Right. Well, you can't be more metal than
You
Death
can't be
Clock.
more metal than Death Clock.
We're gonna be.
Have you
Okay.
ever? Have you
That's
guys ever
the
heard of the
13th most powerful entity financially on the planet.
That's
what are you
true.
talking about?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Diablo Swing Orchestra?
Yes.
That's badass.
They're fucking cool.
Fucking,
What is that?
It's like how would you just? I mean, it's like opera, but it's metal, but also swing jazz, kind of.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
What's it called?
it's called the Diablo Swing Orchestra.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right up my alley.
It's hardcore.
yeah,
Okay.
Hardcore.
That's something for all you to Google. Hardcore.
yeah. Like imagine like that scene from Lord of the Rings when all the orcs are falling over the mountainside.
I'm right there with you.
Right. Like there's a song
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
Tap Dancer's Dilemma that sounds like it would be like a perfect
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on
really
board.
Diablo Swing Orchestra. They're fucking badass.
The album ends with us assassinating all members of Epstein's Island. Like,
I love that.
I'm into that.
yeah.
Almost as much as me loving you actually sitting up and participating.
I am participating. Well, how am I not participating?
It's
He got you on that one.
It's only slightly disrespectful.
Yeah.
You think so?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Joseph, weigh in on this.
I'm Googling Diablo Swing Orchestra. just sit up, Jaime.
He's
Just sit
on his
up.
phone. Isn't that more disrespectful?
You are not
No,
allowed to
we're
say
taking a
he's
break.
on his phone. You're on your phone all the fucking time while we're recording. Your watch is always going off while we're recording. I don't
And
want to
you're
hear it.
Wiggling your little toes all for the camera. Come on.
I'm giving people free dog pics, free dog videos, and you guys are upset about that.
Of your feet?
Yeah.
You're not paying
times
for
did
that.
Your, how many times did your teacher call your parents?
Take a wild guess at that.
He's a really sweet kid. He's just a little disruptive.
He does. He tests great. Honestly, like he's making good grades. It just
We're pretty sure he's not retarded, but
he just
he's a
won't.
real pain
he's
in
just
my
a
ass.
handful.
You
Won't
do remember
do
that I
good.
was expelled from my first school, right?
Well, it makes sense. It never went away. Anyway, Philip Ashton lived with a single gnawing certainty. At any moment, Ned Low might erupt into another violent fury and single out the nearest unfortunate soul. During the first months of his captivity, the quartermaster regularly punished Ashton for refusing to sign the pirate articles, striking him with the flat of the sword until his back burned and bruised. For much of that time, he was kept chained in the suffocating dark of the hold aboard the Fancy, a living warning to others who might resist. Recently, however, something had shifted. Ashton was permitted on deck more often, sometimes even unchained, allowed to move along the crew. Low, it seemed, had decided that coercion alone would not win him. Now he tried persuasion. More time in open air, more chances to talk with the men, more exposure to the promise of plunder. The goal was simple: break him not by force, but by slow corruption. Yet this new freedom offered no true safety. Low's moods were as unpredictable as a squall. On dark days, he would threaten to burn Ashton alive if he did not join the crew. On others, he behaved almost courteously, and shockingly so. This is what unsettled Ashton the most. It was the sudden shifts. He woke up each morning unsure of which version of Low he would face.
So is this like is Ashton like the only guy that he's focused on, or is this like him and multiple
Philip-
others that he's like?
So Philip Ashton is one of the few people that Ned Low captured that we actually have like
Documentation of. Okay.
from.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that
So
makes
like
sense.
this is all from.
So maybe we can assume that there's multiple people like Ashton,
Yes.
on the ship,
Right.
that he's testing different like psychological
Sure.
theories on.
Also,
you know what I mean?
keep in mind that he's probably a bipolar psychopath.
Oh, Ned is unhinged.
Yeah.
We know
Right.
this.
He's probably got some issues.
Right.
And he's probably drinking a lot too.
Right. I mean, right.
Yeah.
That's kind of all they
Ashton
did
is
was drink.
certainly not the only
Right, okay.
prisoner on this, but
This is just that we have the diary.
right. A lot of what we know
heavy air
comes
quotes.
from Philip
yeah.
Ashton.
Yeah.
Philip Ashton is his Netflix account. This is like him, like, I had a long day, time to just mess with this guy, and this is going to make me feel better.
I mean, potentially.
Yeah,
Kinda.
It also sounds like he's just trying out methods for like
For funsies.
for funsies, but also probably. I mean, Ned seems like a shrewd guy. He's probably thinking like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I'll torture him a little bit, see how he reacts.
Right.
Eh,
And
he
the
didn't
next-
like that, and then
Right. And then the next guy, I'll know for sure what to do.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
might be some of that too, and then probably also for the lulls.
I think it's all lulz. Like,
Well,
this is his entertainment.
I think it's a mixture of all of it in the sense that like he's trying to figure out the best way to break his crew. He strikes me as a weird combination of a cult leader and a serial killer, and the
Yeah.
way that he's ramping
Yeah.
things up and trying to get people to do his bidding,
Right.
So he can
I mean,
further progress
He
his.
is certainly the top of
Yeah.
this. I mean, he's the captain of the ship.
Right.
He is proven to his men that they
They
can
get shit done.
Yeah, they get shit done. They're successful, and on a weird darker note, they're kind of respected through
Yeah.
fear.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people are like when they see that flag.
I mean,
they,
it works time and time again,
right. Exactly.
There's
Like,
a
ah,
series
shit.
of rewards and there's a series of punishments, and it all kicks up to the big guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Have
And
you
if
heard
see-
about Nexium?
and if you see the fancy led by Ned come over the horizon, eventually people are just going to be like, nope, you take it.
Right, take everything.
I
yeah.
don't care. Take
Yeah.
it. Just
And it-
leave my lips and hands alone.
And it
you
got them rich. And when they came
Yeah.
back to Nassau, I mean, they were able to
Party as hard as they
oh
wanted
my
to.
God, yeah. Like
Yeah.
the way that it's depicted in Black Sails, Nassau, it was like one giant party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
The
course.
whole time. Like there
Yeah.
was everybody was drunk. It's paradise. You're on this beautiful
It's the
island.
Bahamas.
It's
Yeah.
the Bahamas.
Yeah.
There's brothels. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
everybody's
that time period and that lifestyle, the epitome of
Right.
work hard, play hard.
Right, exactly, right. And if you
Yeah.
weren't, when you weren't on your ship and you weren't plundering and you weren't stealing shit, that's what you were doing. You were getting drunk and you
Yeah.
were fucking. Like
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
And
That
you
sounds
wake up
kinda awesome, to be
drunk
honest.
after like a 4-day weekend. I say, all right, let's go do it again.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You slam a Gatorade, you do a line of blow, and you get back
And then
at
you
it.
get right back at it.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Remember bartending when you were in your 20s?
Gatorade back then was like a coconut and a lime.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much
A
all you had.
coconut, a lime, more
and
rum,
the
yeah.
coconut
Yeah.
and drink it all up.
I
Yeah.
mean, true. I mean, it sounds delicious.
Throw that in a blender,
rum,
yeah.
rum,
Mm-hmm.
little coconut water, and a little squeeze of lime.
You grab an electric eel, it shocks you a little bit, and you're like, okay, I'm back. All right. I'm ready to go again.
Speaking of, I mean, we're not sponsored by this, buddy, but I found my drink of the summer. It's probably going to be my new drink.
Okay.
But it's 2 ounces of Troubadour, like their white rum, and just top it off with ice cold key lime pie LaCroix.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, that's
dude.
smart.
Like, I've been drinking it after work, and it's just like it just goes.
Are you sure a little bit of coconut liqueur in there? You were talking about coconut.
what's
earlier,
wrong
just,
with you?
Just,
That look on
wrong
his
with
face.
What's wrong with you?
just a little. But seriously though, the
Have you
cult
tried
leader,
squirting
serial
copper
killer-
tone into it instead, maybe?
Have you tried ruining that delicious drink that you came up with?
But seriously, the cult leader aspect now adds a fantastic layer to him as a character.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think that's 100% correct.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what he's
like,
going for.
Him having to figure out how to keep all these men in power and prevent mutiny, because he thought of mutiny before, I'm sure that's
He knows
But-
it's an option.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and
how
that
he
there's
got
all the
here.
Yeah,
and
he
there's
got
all
here
these
through
other
mutiny.
dudes who,
Yeah.
if they wanted to, could kill him.
Sure. Yes.
So he always has to know that
Yeah.
he has to like both threaten them, but also treat them right and know that
Right.
like these are my boys, and if I take care of you, you'll take care of me. But I will kill one of you,
Right.
even though you all could kill me at any time.
Right, fuck around, you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Did he write anything like a book on it?
Not to my knowledge.
Because I feel as though he would have some unhinged but powerful things to say.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't go that deep into it. I just kind of Wikipedia'd and listened to a couple of podcasts.
I mean, it's usually what I do.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the only way to write a podcast.
I mean, seriously,
You listen to other well-researched podcasts,
Right.
and then you voice it in your own way.
exactly.
That's how you do it.
exactly.
Yeah. That's how it works.
And then if you want to do the same, do it.
fucking listen to our shit and then
Fucking
go do your
do
thing.
it. You're like, you know what?
You're welcome.
I want to find out more. I'm going to go read Ned Low's diary that I don't think exists.
Probably not.
But if you find it, let me know. That'd be great.
Dude, he was probably the king of like narcissistic,
Oh, yeah.
like gaslighting.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine just listening to this guy
Dude,
talk.
he stained his coat with his enemy's blood
that's
in the middle of the
that's
shit
badass.
being
to
on
the
fire.
point-
That's just badass.
To the
Like-
point where the guy, where Philip was like, oh, is that a new coat?
Yeah. like he put thought into it. You know, he's like, all right, dip it for this long, and that's a nice ombre. Okay, cool. And like the ship is actually on fire on the water.
And on top of that, like after he's done, he doesn't take it off. He's talking with his
Yeah, he's gonna keep
quartermaster
wearing
and
it.
crew, and he's like, oh, what blood? What are you talking about? No, it's a new coat.
Do you like it? I call it tie-dye. But it's spelled D-I-E because I killed a guy.
I call it tight.
And you know everybody, the quartermaster and the rest of the crew, like, fucking brilliant. That was beautiful.
Do you think it looks good on me? It looks great on you. Just don't ever do that to me.
I made him die while on the tight, and now it's tight die.
Actually, that's probably one of the most badass things to do to make sure your men never mutinize against you.
Yeah.
Because if you did that in front of me, I was like, I'm not fucking with that.
Honestly,
Whatever he says, go.
In a weird way, it
But
does
he has
beat
to be.
like the flares in the hair of Blackbeard. You know, that's the shit he
I
used
mean,
to
he
do.
has to be the most unhinged motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. Because if he slips up just a little bit, the rest of the crew is going to be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is he
Because a pirate ship is properly democratic.
Yeah,
Right.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's
Just
and
like the
very,
United States.
very much so.
Take your hand
The
away.
the most ruthless
I'm just
wins.
saying, maybe for a week.
The most ruthless wins. America.
Anyways,
Think of America as a giant pirate ship
Making money and killing people.
plundering.
plundering. It's plundering.
It's plundering and pillaging.
From sea to shining sea.
Anyways, on good days, Lowe treated him less like a captive and more like a guest. He invited Ashton to dine at the captain's table, praised him as one of the few aboard capable of intelligent conversation, and even spoke fondly of his late wife, how she was devout and how they attended church together back in Boston. You know, trying to play into Ashton and his morals.
Sure.
At the mention of marriage, however, Ashton recalled the day of his capture and the urgent question Lowe had demanded at gunpoint.
Are you a married man?
The memory lingered. Summoning his nerve, Ashton finally asked why that question had mattered so much. The answer he received was one he never really expected. As it turned out, Lowe's question had not been random. Like many pirate captains, he preferred not to press married men into service. A sailor with a wife or children waiting at home was more likely to resist and more likely to attempt escape at the first opportunity. Attachments bred defiance.
Sure.
But for Ned Low, there was something deeper beneath the policy.
Bread Defiance is a great
Bred Defiance is a great band name. A lot of good band names.
A lot of good band names in the pirate cast.
Bred Defiance, yeah, that's pretty badass.
Is it a gluten intolerant?
Thank you. I was just about to say, hit single is gluten intolerance. Our second single.
Don't like rye. I don't like white.
Our,
I
second,
don't like pumpernickel. That ain't right.
our second single is
flower.
our second single is
Celiacs?
birth control.
Oh, birth
Barley
control.
sucks.
Oh, okay.
Barley
Okay.
sucks.
What is it?
Our second single is birth control.
By Bred Defiance.
It works on a couple of them.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Because you defied breeding.
Yeah.
I like it.
Or abortion. No, abortion. That's more metal.
Yeah.
Abomination.
Abomination. Yeah. Yeah. Roe v. Blade. I don't know.
Very good.
Oh, all right.
Very good.
But for Ned Low, there was something deeper beneath the policy. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he confessed his grief over his late wife and the crushing guilt he carried for abandoning his only daughter to pursue a life of piracy. As he spoke, his composure broke. The feared captain, whose name sent shivers through ports on both sides of the Atlantic, began to weep. Philip Ashton stood stunned. The sight was unsettling, even uncomfortable. For a fleeting moment, he had felt something close to sympathy. Almost. Yet, the display only deepened the mystery. How could the same man, capable of calculated cruelty, also harbor such visible sorrow? Two great band names. Calculated Cruelty, Visible Sorrow. I'm killing it over here. It forced Ashton to question the state of Low's mind. Were these personal tragedies part of the root of his violence? Historians still speculate on that very question today. There was no Dr. Phil aboard the Fancy, no modern framework to parse trauma from pathology. But stripped of analysis and hindsight, one fact remains difficult to ignore. Whatever the cause, the man's cruelty was real, deliberate, and devastating. Whether grief-stricken or unhinged, or some volatile mixture of both, Ned Low carved his legend in blood. Despite the relentless campaign to recruit him, Philip Ashton refused to yield. To Ashton, death itself seemed preferable to binding his name to a crew that treated cruelty as sport and reveled in the suffering of the innocent. The constant drunkenness, the vile oaths, the blasphemies shouted into the salt air, all of it revolted him.
No one's there, but there's a guy just straight up staring
I
at us
was
through
just
the
straight
window.
up staring. In the
That was very
That was-
unnerving.
Oh, shit. The guy in the blue?
Yeah, he was just straight up
He was just
staring
like
into us.
watching.
What are you guys doing in there?
Yeah, dude, that was so scary.
You mind if I grab my horn?
Dude, that was genuinely
Keep
worrisome.
going.
Did you see him, Grant?
Nah, I missed him.
I also missed him. I saw him when he walked away.
What was worse was that he was across the street, and then he looked at us, and then he
came
walked
over.
over
Across the street?
and
Nice.
then just stood there menacingly.
I don't know. That feels like standard
locking the
like
door?
old white guy stuff.
I just want the viewer to know it was like. And then just staring. Oh, God. Dude, that was really scary.
That's awesome.
I don't like when old white people start staring. It doesn't usually mean anything good's
It's
about to
not
happen.
great.
Yeah,
So we're at,
Especially in khakis and like the button up.
yeah, fully tucked in.
Yeah.
we're at a studio
Oh, wow.
called Visual Minds. It's fantastic, beautiful.
Fantastic place.
Studio by,
Come here when you're in Nashville and
Joshua
get some art.
Oddgrass. And there's a
Alright.
Visual Minds logo on the window. And this guy's head was, did you see that? How it was like perfectly in the M of Visual Minds?
did,
and I was
yeah.
like, ah.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was like
God.
framing his head as he's like,
It was honestly, it was a movie shot. It was
sash flinking, the
bash pinging,
the hash slinging slasher.
Hi, I was just wondering if I could pick up an application.
it's definitely a Stanley Kubrick kind of shot.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good shot.
Nice.
Stanley Kubrick. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Back to what you're doing. Sorry.
Despite the relentless campaign to recruit him, Philip Ashton refused to yield. To Ashton, death itself seemed preferable to binding his name to a crew that treated cruelty as sport and reveled in the suffering of the innocent. The constant drunkenness, the vile oaths, the blasphemies shouted into the salt air, all of it revolted him. Life aboard the Fancy felt less like captivity on a ship and more like imprisonment among men who had openly declared war on conscience and heaven alike. And yet his survival might depend on that very refusal. It was, in every sense, a damned if you do, damned if you don't predicament. If Ashton signed the articles, he would not only surrender his freedom, but stain his name beyond redemption. Even if he later escaped, discovery that he had once joined the crew of Ned Low, arguably the most hunted pirate in the Atlantic, could mean execution in the American colonies or in Britain, regardless of the circumstance. And there was a lot of times when that would happen, when people would, sign their lives over willingly to survive, and maybe sometimes they would be let go, like if they were able to produce enough evidence or whatever. But sometimes, especially towards the end of the golden age of piracy, they were like, you signed the articles, so you had
Yeah, they
something
were
to do with
viewed
it.
as like an accomplice,
Right.
right? In
Right.
like modern law, somebody's committing a crime and you're part of like the posse or whatever. You defect and say, "Hey,
Aiding
I'm
and
done
abetting,
with this."
right? I think it's what it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah.
Yeah, you're aiding and abetting, and you go down like the rest of them.
Right. Exactly. And even sometimes if you did have evidence proving your innocence, they were like, pirate.
Yeah, we don't
They
care.
didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Also, they were probably so hungry to just fucking
kill
hang
someone?
people.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, I can't wait till
Like
that hanging
that's
next week.
Like the
But also-
colonies and and everything. Like that's their money and power.
And you're absolutely right because
You're not allowed to take their money and power.
and that's their
because-
entertainment too.
And
I
on
mean,
top of that, at the end of the day, they wanted
Yeah.
to make examples out of these
Yeah,
people.
100%.
And like I think we talked about in part one, like a lot of these stories were super embellished. Like, I mean, hell, even that
Yeah.
one about him cutting the lips off. Like, do we know that actually happened? I mean, probably yes, because Philip Ashton talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even Philip Ashton wasn't on the ship when it happened. It was just something that was said
Hearsay.
around.
Yeah.
It was something around that was said around the ship.
Sure.
You know, and the book, a brief history of, or the general history of pirates by Charles Johnson, who, by the way, is not even a real name. It's an alias of some guy that wanted to write propaganda to instill fear of pirates into people. Like a lot of those stories that you hear are super embellished.
Highly embellished. Yeah.
damn. Damn.
Pirate PR. I like this.
But that being said, we wouldn't have the awesome saga of Pirates of the Caribbean without it. So
That's true.
or Black Sails or Black Flag Assassin's Creed. So
That's true. That's a fun game.
it's a great game.
Yeah.
Probably the best AC out there. Fight me. Anyway, but to refuse his signature carried its own peril. Defiance might make him the next gruesome example, another body used to enforce obedience through terror. So Ashton clung to a single fragile hope: escape. Not persuasion, not compromise, escape at the first sliver of opportunity. And it was the only path that offered even the faintest chance of saving both his life and his soul. The odds are certainly stacked against him. Since being captured in Nova Scotia, Ashton hasn't set foot on land. But Ashton knows, given him the smallest chance, he will make a run for it. And on March 9th, 1723, an opportunity finally presents itself.
And how long is this at that point?
I think it's about a year since he's been captured.
Wow, that's a crazy year.
I know
Could you
it's a
imagine-
long year.
Could
I
you
assumed
imagine
it was like 10.
Yeah. Right.
Could you imagine a year without even setting foot on land?
Yeah.
Crazy.
You can? I can't.
I cannot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying yeah, as in that's crazy.
I mean, because have we all done anything deep sea?
Yeah.
Like deep sea fishing, whatever.
It's kind of wild.
right. And
Yeah.
then,
I
and then when you get back on land, it still feels like you're.
Yeah.
Now imagine that
For a year.
for a year.
You gotta get your land legs back,
Yeah.
man. It's crazy.
And
Also,
then-
just the horror of being out on the open water and looking like in a 360-degree arc and there's no land. It's like it really set something off in the
Also,
lizard
there's
brain.
no light pollution back then.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So
to
it's just
think
dark
about.
as shit.
Yeah.
Pitch black. The only thing he had was lamps
Yeah.
on the ship. Could you imagine?
And then this guy's lighting people's hands on fire and cutting their lips off and lighting those on fire. And
right.
Yeah, the least of your worries is like you getting seasick.
nowadays, yes. Yeah.
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 Seriously.
Could be a kraken too. That'd be a pretty big
Probably.
concern.
That's your hope.
God, I hope they sink the ship.
Just take me away.
It'd be so cool if there's a deep sea demon to just take this out.
Just off the island of Roatan, some 40 miles from the Honduran mainland, Ned Low's small armada dropped anchor and dispatched a rowboat ashore to collect fresh water. The sight of land, real land, stirred something desperate inside Philip. It had been nearly a year since his feet had touched anything but deck planks and the foul boards of the hold. He pleaded for permission to go ashore, framing it as nothing more than a chance to stretch his legs and feel solid ground again. Low hesitated, suspicion flickering behind his eyes, but at last he relented.
Are you sure you won't try to escape?
Pinky promise you won't do it.
Write it on this piece of paper. I'll come back, Mr.
Make a
Ned.
sailor's promise. Yo ho, yo ho. To escape, I won't go.
All right, I'll see you when you get back.
Love you.
No, really, you're my only emotion.
No, to be honest with you, you're my only friend.
I haven't cried in front of another man for many years.
So
I've made love to a lot of them, but I haven't cried in
But
front
I've
of them.
never cried in front of another man, except for yourself.
So
I
Ashton,
mean, can't this be simply fixed? Like if you just like chained him to a pretty heavy rock, like he can still carry.
Nedward?
no, he's talking about like
Ashton?
Yeah.
If you chained Ashton to a rock,
A heavy rock, but
Right.
but he can still carry it.
when
where's
you
he
put him
gonna
on
go?
land,
It's a desolate island off the coast of Honduras.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
uninhabited at this time, which I'll get into in a second. But
okay.
yeah, like where are you gonna go? Anyway, he pleaded for permission to go ashore. I already said that, and Ashton was allowed onto the boat. Yet, as the oars cut through the water and shoreline crept closer, a sobering realization settled in. Freedom was one thing, survival was another. Beyond the thin cloth of his shirt and trousers, Ashton possessed nothing. No weapon, no provisions, no tools. The island, beautiful and green from a distance, was uninhabited and unknown. Land might mean escape, but it might also mean a slower death. While Ned Low remained aboard the Fancy, Philip Ashton joined the party assigned to the longboat. They steered towards Roatan, weaving carefully through the bright coral reefs that ring the island like a jeweled barrier. It's
Remember
beautiful.
Coral Reefs?
That was good.
Beautiful out there.
And when he
Remember
was
that?
captured, you said in like Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah.
So he's used to like the horrific tundra cold, and he's looking at this lush, beautiful land. Like, oh, dude, I'll fucking die out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know shit about this. I'm gonna die.
That's funny you say that because my very next sentence, the nearer they drew, the more certain Ashton became. He would rather perish on this strip of paradise than endure another day beneath
Sure.
Low's command.
Yeah.
The island's dense greenery and pale sands felt like a vision of mercy compared to the floating hell he had left behind. As soon as the boat grounded, the man leading the landing party barked orders. Casks were unloaded, and the men waded into the shallows to fill them with fresh water. Ashton worked with deliberate focus, matching the pace, giving no sign of the storm brewing inside him. The sun bore down mercilessly, and he silently thanked Providence that he had brought along his wide-brimmed hat. They were like this wide at those times. Little by little, without drawing attention, he began to drift away. Excuse me.
Just a whistling.
Yeah. Still appearing occupied. Still appearing
Don't
occupied.
be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Pirate's life is for me.
Still appearing occupied, he edged himself.
Yeah.
I can't come
Farther
yet.
along the beach, by careful step. No one noticed him edging himself.
It's No Nut November.
Part of the goon crew.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
And then, at last, his feet left the water entirely and pressed into dry sand. In that quiet moment, with the sea at his back and the jungle before him, Ashton made a solemn vow to God. He would never return to that demonic fleet again. A short distance from the shoreline stood a dense grove of coconut palms. Their fronds rattled softly in the wind. Philip Ashton fixed his eyes on that patch of green. If he could slip inside unnoticed, he might remain hidden long enough for the pirates to return to their boat, none the wiser. But the timing had to be perfect. If they caught him in the attempt, the punishment would be swift and likely fatal. So for now he crouched low, pretending to sift through shells and stones along the beach. Then came the voice. The man in charge of the landing party had
That's
noticed...
a nice seashell.
Right. The man in charge of the landing party had noticed how far Ashton had wandered. He called out sharply. Ashton answered with forced cheer, shouting back that the beach was littered with coconuts and that he meant to empty his cask and fill them with a treat for the crew. Like, hey, this place has got all these coconuts. I figured, I'll bring them back for everybody.
Do you don't want coconuts? Some good coconuts.
There was a pause.
Right over there. Away.
There was a pause, and then a wave of the hand. Permission was granted. Ashton watched the man turn.
Good thinking. Keep going.
Ned's gonna love that. No wonder you're his favorite.
You know something,
You're his
Ashton?
favorite prisoner.
You're all right.
Sorry for beating you all those times.
Yeah, sorry for all those times I set your feet on fire.
There's a whole bunch of coconuts over here.
I love coconuts.
Mounds are my favorite candy bar.
Almond Joy for the week.
If you need to rely on the almond, you're a bitch.
We like the dark chocolate.
Ashton watched the man turn away, hoist his filled water cask, and trudge back towards the longboat. In that instant, Ashton saw what he had been waiting for. Every pirate's back was turned, and he ran.
Komodo dragon came at him.
The wooden cask crashed into the sand, and as he flung it aside and bolted for the trees, his heart thundered in his chest as he plunged into the grove, branches whipping against his face and shoulders, bare feet tore across jagged roots and thorny undergrowth, pain flaring with every step, but he didn't slow down. The distance was survival, and distance was everything.
And then there was a giant bird.
Behind him came the shout.
Thank you. That's a long callback.
Rock? And it's just like,
Wait, what? How did I miss it?
Oh, that was from the MC episode forever ago. Oh. Running through the woods.
that was a very long callback.
That was like, what, episode 15?
Something like that.
Way
Yeah, that
back,
was
yeah.
forever ago.
Goodness.
Grant's had that in his notebook for years now.
Reference giant bird.
It's gonna come up today. I swear it. I know it.
Right. Behind him came the shout.
He's going into the woods.
The words echoed like a gunshot. Ashton pressed deeper into the tangled interior of Roatan, the terrain wild and disorienting. It was nearly impossible to keep a straight course, and soon his lungs burned and his pace faltered.
This is awesome.
Yeah. They sounded close, too close. How could they already be near? A sickening thought struck him. He might have doubled back without realizing it. He glanced down and saw the problem immediately. His feet were shredded, bleeding freely behind him. Uh-oh. Behind him, faint but visible, was a trail of red marking his passage through the foliage. He swallowed a curse and forced himself to think. Running blindly would only finish him faster. He needs concealment, and he needs stillness. Spotting a thick, low-hanging bush, Ashton crawled beneath it, curling himself into the smallest space possible. Try saying that 5 times fast. He pressed his body into the earth and scarcely daring to breathe. Time stretched unbearably. Every rustle felt like a hand reaching for him. Then a snap of the branch. A voice cut through the jungle.
Ashton! Where are you, Ashton?
Another shout followed, edged with menace.
You're gonna die out here alone. This is your last chance.
Ashton clamped his mouth shut and held breath entirely, willing even his heartbeat to quiet. And he didn't move a single muscle. At last, after what felt like hours, the footsteps receded, and the voices drifted away towards the beach. And for the first time since he had run, Ashton allowed himself the smallest, trembling breath. Night draped itself over Roatan, and for the first time in nearly a year, Philip Ashton slept without the groan of timbers or the threat of a captain's fury hanging over him. But the jungle offered no gentle rest. He awoke with a violent jolt, his legs aflame with sensation, as though pierced by 1,000 needles at once. He looked down and recoiled. Ants and other crawling creatures swarmed across his bare skin. With a strangled grasp, he thrashed wildly, brushing them away in panic, and then he froze. Had he just betrayed his hiding place? He held still, listening. Silence. If the restless chorus of the nocturnal instincts and distant surf could be called silence. No shouting, no crashing, no shouting, no crashing through brush, no crashing through brush, no pirates. Slowly, painfully, Ashton staggered from the woods and out to the moonlit shore. The sand felt cool and forgiving beneath his torn feet, and he scanned the horizon, and there it was, nothing. No lantern lights, no looming silhouettes of sails, no sign of the Fancy or her consorts. Low's fleet was gone. Somewhere out there beyond the dark waters sailed Ned Low, but not here, not tonight. A wave of relief washed over him so powerful it nearly buckled his knees. He lifted his eyes heavenward and offered thanks. He had escaped the madness, and he had slipped through the jaws of the wolf. Desperate for sustenance, he cracks open a fallen coconut, drinking deeply and devouring the sweet fruit within. For a fleeting moment, hope flickered, bright and warm. But hope gave way to reality just as quickly. The island appeared wholly uninhabited. No huts, no smoke, no sign of life beyond the wild growth and restless creatures of the dark. He had no tools, no provisions, no fire. Coconuts might sustain him for a time, but for how long? And what of storms, injury, sickness? Until some passing vessel chanced upon the lowly shore, Ashton was not merely free; he was marooned.
And in part 3, we'll spy whether Ashton's bold flight from that floating pit of damnation earns him a fair salvation, or strands him in the darker doom yet. A long, cruel reckoning where no cutlass flashes and no cannon speaks, but deadlier foes closing all the same. The belly's savage growl, the mind's creeping madness, and with the wild isle's iron grip, as cold and merciless as the deep black sea. Next time on Murder Smurder.
Now, Jamie, what'd you want?
Did you say he was on the island of Roatan?
Yes.
Okay. Just fun fact.
Actually, I said it 5 times.
Did you? The reason why I asked about that and you bring up the ants is Honduras and its mainland forest is the home of the bullet ants.
Ooh, and they're the worst.
Yeah, which are
they're
known
brutal.
as like one of the most painful bites in the entire world.
Those
Yeah,
guys
that's
are
true.
crazy.
Yeah. Fun fact, though, the Roatan, one reason why it's inhabited now and kind of seen as like a more so as a British, more than like anything else, a British like
Colony?
essentially
Territory.
it's more than that.
Yeah.
More like a British territory colony,
Right.
Because of so much of the tourism over there, and they've invested the most into the infrastructure. But one reason why it's like known as that is because the rainforest and the forestation on the island is much safer than the rest of the mainland
Really?
because there was less competition.
Interesting.
So in the mainland, there's more competition for all the rainforest animals, but because it's limited on the islands, they don't have the bullet ants.
Interesting. So yeah, bullet ants are fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're fucking scary
Yeah.
too. They're fucking.
Now we're learning stuff.
They're the ones that have they'll bite onto you and then they'll sting you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like super.
It's double extra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double extra. Double extra pain.
Sucks. Yeah. I'm sure I've told you about this little thing about me, but I was fascinated with ants when I was a kid.
I hate 'em.
I was that kid.
No kidding.
I had like a little ant farm at one point in my
Oh,
life.
okay.
And throughout my life, I'll find myself in like these little kicks where like I kind of go down like an ant rabbit hole.
That's awesome.
An
yeah.
ant hole,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you will.
Ants are fascinating creatures.
They are.
Specifically the fact like they're constantly warring with each other. Their colonies can extend for hundreds to thousands of miles.
Yes.
And then also bullet ants, if I remember correctly, like if one bites you, it sets off a pheromone.
Well, that's most of
Yeah.
them. But
Yes,
yes.
they all do. Yeah.
Which
They all
just
do that?
triggers all the other ants to be like, oh, kill this guy.
Yeah.
So
Hey, this guy sucks.
yeah.
I think army ants are also very similar, which are down in
Yes,
Florida.
they are.
But once one of them bites you, they're all like, "Oh, bite now," and they bite you at the same time.
It's
and
the
a lot
worst.
of the times, especially like for like smaller animals or even kids, sometimes
Kill 'em.
Like it'll
Yeah.
in an instant too because of the shock and
It's insane.
and the pain.
Yeah.
Another species of ants that fascinates me are bulldog ants because they're like
They're half dog, half ant. Yeah.
well, like most ants have like little pinchers,
Very loyal ants.
little pinchers like this. That
Man's best friend.
Man's
as an
best
ant.
ant, yes.
yeah, like most ants have like little pinchers for mouths that pinch. Bulldogs have like these long like things, and when they bite, they latch.
Yeah.
and they don't let go.
No.
Until like you kill them.
Yeah.
They don't let go. And in fact, a lot of the times, there were some tribes that would like, if you had like a bad cut or an injury, they would take bulldog ants and then have them bite along the cut, so it was
Just to seal it.
Just to seal it.
Damn.
Yeah, it works like almost like staples.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's smart.
fascinating.
Fascinating
creatures.
shit.
If I could shout out Ants Canada on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, he has like all these like ant farms or ant planetariums.
That's awesome.
Like it's basically like like a fish tank, but for ants.
Yeah, like a terrarium.
Terrarium. Thank
Dude,
you.
that's some James Bond villain type shit.
Kinda.
Little bit.
His voice is kind of James Bond villain.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Okay.
He's probably
do
is,
not
yeah.
go over to
Yeah.
that guy's house, especially if you're a woman, because I feel as though
Especially
you
'cause, like-
talk some you tell that guy he's not funny, you're gonna wake up covered in honey.
Right.
And that terrarium lid is open.
Let's see what the colony
funny you
has to
say
say
that.
about this.
Because his voice is very Bond-esque, but like, and when you hear him, you think like, oh, maybe kind of like nerdy, kind of like bigger dude.
Yeah.
No, this guy's fucking jacked.
Okay.
Oh, so like a Joseph. Just a Jack nerd.
I like dorky stuff.
But see, Joseph has like kind of like that deeper voice. He does not. It's
Oh,
always
okay.
like, yeah,
Nice.
how's it going, everybody?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
like
So
that.
just a cheerful, jovial,
Cheerful,
ant guy.
jovial, but jacked.
Do you think he studied ants so much that he got the proportional strength of an ant, and now he can like pick up super
Well,
heavy stuff?
now I do. Yes.
I mean,
He's
yeah,
putting
like,
ants
he's-
through X-rays and just letting him bite him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's either like Peter Parker in a sense that he's so nerded out that
Yeah.
he probably would do good with like the
With ant powers?
with ant powers, or he's a James Bond villain.
Yeah. He could be like Peter Parker-esque and then have a bad swing and then get like betrayed or something and then become
Yeah.
the dreaded Ant-Man.
I think he lives in some kind of island off of the Philippines or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Or in
Okay.
the Philippines. And
Yeah, this guy's definitely a villain.
yeah, right.
You live in the Philippines, bruh. You got some weird shit going on in your life.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a
Well,
biologist.
Austin, that was amazing.
That was a
Thank you.
great job.
Loved it so
Thank you.
much. To the
hope
point where
you
I'm
liked
thinking, like, Jamie, we may have fucked up and doing this whole like true crime thing.
We should do
We
historical
should have just
stuff.
done a fucking pirate podcast.
Pirates are fun, man. The only thing with
Love
pirates is
pirates.
that there really are only a handful.
I know.
Yeah.
that's true. As far as like proper documentation is
Right.
concerned, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That being said,
Just 12 episodes in, so
Podcast over,
So,
I
yeah,
guess.
we covered our-
we
we covered
ran
our
out of
pirates.
stuff on pirates, so we're just gonna sit in silence for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that
no,
being said, I mean, this certainly will not be my last pirate episode. I think I'm going to kind of stick to a theme.
Dude, keep
for a
doing
little
it.
bit.
I love it. Honestly, seriously.
I love when we do historical stuff. I love the cowboys. I love the medieval stuff. I love the pirate stuff. I'm about it.
Yeah.
And you're doing a great
I
job,
do
Austin.
like my America, my like young, fucked up America.
yeah,
I do like
your
that
Wild
stuff.
West shenanigans.
It was
Yeah.
fun back
Whenever
then.
you cover
wasn't it?
history, it's always a great time.
It is a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
I love our historical episodes.
Yeah, especially the zany one, like the fucking
Not Billy the Kid,
no the
the cowboy cannibal.
no
The music one.
the Honest Abe.
Oh.
What they did with his body. That
was really
that was
good.
just
Yeah.
awesome
Good.
from top to bottom.
And you
Sure,
also
that was
beat
fun.
last podcast on the left to it.
I did. That was fun.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
put
wow.
that episode out like 2 weeks later or something.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
I remember
I know, right?
we did the John Wilkes Booth thing, and then I saw that, and I was like, "We beat you to this
Yeah,
one."
we did.
Hell yeah.
Finally. Beat him to something.
I think that'd be a fun little
we lead,
merge.
they follow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
If
they
we
suck.
get the-
I've been saying how much they suck, and you guys don't believe me.
Oh, my God. You're so
You're
wrong on
a
that.
I really say it
silly
because
fool.
they're competition. You know, I would honestly love a little merger. I think it'd be fun.
Yes, you should acquire us
Would
for the
be-
Last Podcast Network, and we'll
Please,
be
actually.
fine with
just
that.
like,
yeah.
just
Do
like
that.
some.
I love me some Ed, so, yeah.
collaboration.
Ed,
be buddies.
Henry Marcus, I guess if you're listening, big fan.
Yeah, big fan.
Buy us
Love
out.
you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, buy us out.
Or if you
We'll
don't buy us out-
happily hop in.
We still like you.
I mean, not happy for the bulk
Happily.
for the bulk of the
Happily.
podcast.
Henry, I'll talk to you about Dune.
Oh,
I will talk to you about Dune. I love me some Dune.
I will listen.
Henry, I will talk to you about being funnier on your own podcast.
He didn't mean that.
We'll cut him out if you buy us.
Yeah, that's true. Happily.
Yeah, there's only room for 3 on the network. Oh, well, I have an idea who it's going to be.
Mr. Wristwatch Ching Ching guy over here. Mr. Beep Beeps.
What if they're like, but Jamie's shenanigans are hilarious?
I will, sure, that's fine.
It's a possibility, Joseph.
It is a
I will
possibility.
eat
will-
my own
sure.
foot.
100%. All right. Well, I think that's a good time.
It's been a good time. We'll see you next time.
No, we got to do the whole.
I know. Everybody do the sign off. I'm going to go pee.
Okay.
What's
I'm
sign
Grant.
off?
Y'all sign off.
I'm Joseph.
Text us at 615-768-9483 on what you think
83.
Grant's pee looks like. I'm trying to figure out what it tastes like.
It might
as
be
well.
yellow.
I think it's orangish.
It's sterile.
I bet it's steamy no matter what temperature.
Steamy and bubbly. Yeah.
I know it's frothy.
Oh, yeah. and then email us with, I guess,
Your own pissy pirate
what
facts.
you think his stream is like.
I think like a nice morning rain. Gentle but insistent.
Grant, do you take supplements?
Do you take zinc supplements? Do you have fat loads?
If he takes any supplements, it's neon yellow.
Dude, I bet
I bet he
yellow.
does.
I bet he's got a strong core, so it's coming out like it's like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like opening up a dam.
It's like
you
a
know?
fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know he Grant thinks an efficient method, so I'm thinking he like times his piss like under 10 seconds, good time.
Yeah. Because he's always got stuff to do. He's always busy. So
Yeah.
I imagine
Since
he does
he's not
like
here, do you want to
unzip
start
piss.
a rumor that he's got like one of those weird piercings on his penis? And
You
then
mean
when
the,
he does
the Prince
pee,
Albert?
It goes like,
I could see Grant having a Prince Albert.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Of the three of it, of the four of
Oh
us,
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I would never pierce my penis.
And I would never pierce mine.
I don't think I could. I just don't want to.
Grant would.
I could see Grant waking up with one and being like, again?
I guess, Grace.
You know what's crazy is once you take it out, if it's been in for a while and it doesn't heal all the way, you just still have that hole in your dick.
Yeah. No, I've actually got a buddy of mine.
Why you got to throw that in my brain?
I was told that. Now I know it, and now you know
I
it.
got a buddy of mine who has a botched circumcision, and he has like a little loop that he can hang jewelry from.
No kidding.
It's pretty cool.
A loop.
I don't know if it's cool as much as it is worrisome.
You're just jealous of a superpower.
A botched circumcision?
Nah, Jaime can store
He
things in
turned fucking
his.
lemons into lemonades. He's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I have this botched circumcision. What am I going to do? Oh, wait a minute.
I'll hang stuff
I'll
from
make
it.
it look beautiful.
A botched circumcision is my origin story. I'm going to turn into the Punisher. Botched circumcision. He did what now?
Jaime's like, where do I keep my Tic Tacs now? Anyway, I'm Joseph. Email us your own pissy pirate stories or weird piercings you have at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com.
That's don't email trashville@gmail.com.
Follow us on all our socials at Trashville_USA. And, hit us up on Spotify. That is the main method in which we post. And so we need to please the Spotify gods.
Comment on the episodes. Follow. Like. Send them to your friends. Send them to your enemies. Send them to random people.
Yeah.
Also,
Just
I
start
knew-
typing in random names.
I knew that my emergency pee would take shorter than the outro.
See, I
so
told
that's
you.
great.
I told you. He thinks
take a very
inefficient
efficient piss.
I told you. I knew
And
it.
I know about that Prince Albert.
That's right.
Anyway.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of Murder Schmurder.
Here at Murder Schmurder, if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's this. You gotta laugh or you'll cry. Right now, there's a lot to laugh and cry about. And while we talk about a lot of fucked up stuff and delve into some of the worst crimes in history, we try to make light of these things not to devalue the events or the victims or survivors, but because I genuinely believe it's one of the only ways for sentient life to understand and process the horrors of life. And it's not lost on us that most of the victims we talk about in our true crime misadventures are the most vulnerable in our country: sex workers and racial and or queer minorities. If you'd like, you could roll back the tapes and find several hours worth of ranting on this by each of us. That being said, sometimes the boys get rowdy and we end up yes-anding or attempting to outdo each other, and we say some gnarly shit.
Hence, lower the bar.
Hence lower the bar, which is not going to stop happening.
No, it's a very fun game.
It's a very fun game.
So, I want the listeners to know that while our intention is to never punch down, we do fuck up, and we learn and we try to get better. Are we going to fuck up again? You bet your ass.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Will it be funny when we do so?
1,000%.
Probably for us.
1,001%.
I hope so.
And definitely for us.
One of my favorite things is laughing at you guys.
No. But here at Murder Schmurder, we value our brothers, sisters, and non-binary homies out there. BIPOC, LGBTQIA2+, whatever member of the alphabet mafia you are, we got your back. And we hope you have ours as we continue to grow, learn, and support each other through these dark times and come out the other side stronger than ever. And since we're here, we're just going to unequivocally say, fuck fascists, incels, cops, nationalists, and whoever else has a problem with people being who they are.
Ooh, gross. Leave me alone.